Adam here from the Tint Academy. We made the Tint Academy the largest education company for window tinters and PPF installers across Canada and the United States. One way we did that is by our unique model of a hands-on approach to teaching automotive window film. From step A to step Z, you're going to be able to learn how to tint any car, truck, or vehicle and make money leaving Sunday night into Monday morning after our course. This unique hands-on approach is not seen anywhere else. We go by step by step by step. Plus, we give you all the marketing and the tactics to make sure your schedule is filled once you leave this course. Hey guys, welcome to our webinar. So I know there's a little bit of a time confusion there. We're supposed to start at 9. I know some people got a email for 8. That's okay. We're still running this as planned at 9 o'clock. So let me know first that you can hear me. So my name is Adam. You just saw that little intro video of me talking there. So if you can hear me, just type in that box that you can hear me. If you can't, I guess you're not going to be able to type into that box. Perfect. So one, yep. So my goal today, so when we run this course, we get a lot of feedback that registrants don't want to open up their own shop. Either they don't have the knowledge over their own shop, it's hard to find space. Now we run this course from Canada and the States. So no, specifically in Toronto, Halifax, Ottawa, it's really hard to get shop space right now, and it's extremely expensive. So a lot of people do not want to have a shop. So we're talking about, can you do this mobily? Can you operate a window tint business not having a shop? Does it make you unprofessional? Will you be able to make the same amount of money? The answer is yes. And in this webinar, my goal is to show you. So I want to kind of break that down, that girls and guys like yourself that want to take this course or want to start making more money or add money into their services, they don't need shop, they don't need 4 walls to actually make money, hit those 6-figure targets like you probably keep hearing us talking about. Now, this webinar is, we're going to do a little sponsorship thing, is automotive gift cards. It's a cool little marketing that we have that a lot of guys use to get a lot more customers in there. Guys do get a little bit of discount on automotive gift cards. It's a plastic gift card that is reusable to get more customers into your either detailing business, wrap business, or window tinting business. If you want a free kind of book on how this works, just shoot me an email and we'll send that over to you guys as well. Now, a couple learning objectives. Now, my goal is kind of show you guys how mobile can be. Now, I first started mobile window tinting myself, making $300,000 a year without even a shop. Doesn't matter if it's a winter time, doesn't matter if it's a summertime, you guys can hit those numbers as well. My goal is to show you that you guys can hit that with this webinar. So we're gonna go through the benefits, pros and cons. Like everything in life, there is benefits, there is negatives to everything that we do. So we wanna explain that mobility is not all sunshines and rainbows, there are some negatives to doing this as well. Can you run it and still be profitable throughout the entire year? What do you require? What do you need to be mobile? Do you just need a car? Do you just need supplies? How are you going to be professional being mobily and going to customers' houses? And then the big question is, how can we actually get customers? All this is easy said than done. You need to get customers. You need to do cars, you need to make money doing this, and that comes by getting customers booked. Now with me, I started actually mobile myself. I still do mobile to this day. I have 3 shops in Southern Ontario, Niagara to be specific, and I run the Tint Academy most of my time. I still like doing mobile. Back in the day, I was only doing mobile, going to customers' houses and doing dealerships and other shops doing that as well. So I started doing this. I ran mobile businesses in both Montreal, Toronto, and Niagara. So I'd be driving between those three cities doing mobile. We're doing about $300,000 in my pocket a year without a shop. So I have a little soft spot of being mobile. A lot of shops say you can't do it. I'm on the outside where you can. Sometimes a shop is better. I'm 90% in a shop in my own four walls now, just because I'm mostly running my other business and doing other stuff with the Tint Academy. That is kind of becoming priority to make sure that you guys are the most successful in there as well. So, how much can you make mobile? Now, here is a little projection of what you guys can make. If you're visiting customers, now we've certified about 4,000 people across Canada. We found that the average mobile installer will do about 2 or 3 vehicles max per day. 2 on the low end, 4 to 5 on the high end. You have to factor in drive time. You have to do all that kind of stuff. So we found that we want you guys to charge between 250 and 450. I know it's a huge range, but we're setting this up at $300. You should never be charging less than $300 plus your travel time doing mobile. So at our $300 mark, doing 2 cars a day, that's $600. If you're working 5 days a week, if you're not like me doing 6 or 7, that's $3,000 a week. Once you subtract your expenses, gas, car, insurance, and your actual product, which is tint, you're looking at about $2,000 per working 4 to 6 hours per day. That 4 to 6 hours, so if you do our course, we want you to do a vehicle in about 2 hours. We add in about a half-hour drive time, setup time, all that kind of stuff. So this is based on doing 2 cars per day. In the wintertime, when it is a little bit slower, you'll be looking at 2 cars per day. In the summertime, it's much easier to hit that 4 or 5 mark doing this mobily. Now, again, you have to factor in drive time. You have to factor all that stuff. So again, your gross doing 2 cars a day at $300 is going to be at $3,000. Once you minus your expenses, gas, car, insurance, about $2,000 a week. Now, what is mobile? So a lot of people say mobile is going to customers' houses. There's actually 2 types of mobile window tinters to be. You can either go to customers' homes or you can working out of shops and dealerships. Those are the 2 options that we do. Now, a lot of our guys will focus more on the dealership work and the actual wholesale work, which is doing other tinting, wrapping, and shops that maybe require window tinting services. So again, it can be either going to customers' houses, we're on top of the pros and cons, or it can be we're doing dealership work and wholesale work. Wholesale work again is where you're going to go to a dealership and offer wholesale rates. So it's going to be a little bit cheaper, but they deal with the customer, they deal with that kind of headache and scheduling, and they just book you to complete the job. Now, pros. So, what are the benefits of running mobily? Now, a lot of guys will do this. So, first, it's easier scheduling and booking customers. Since COVID, we found the customer mindset has changed. They don't want to drop off a car. They want stuff easily at their fingertips. With Uber Eats, DoorDash, all that kind of stuff, they want stuff that's brought to them. So it's easier to schedule their customers. We have a 90% show rate with our mobile bookings. With our in-shop bookings, we require a deposit. Our show rate is sometimes 60 to 65%. People cancel, they don't show up. It's hard to get the car. They don't want to wait around for like 2 or 3 hours. They can't get a ride home. So it's a lot easier booking customers and getting commitment. We see a 90% appointment success rate versus a shop, which is 60 to 70%. Next is going to be higher profit. With that, again, we talk about your expenses, it'll be gas, travel, and insurance. You'll be using the customer's electricity. With the shop, you're looking at between $2,000 and $3,000 in lease. You're looking at hydro, electricity, and a lot higher insurance rates with that as well. Next is going to be more flexibility. It's easier to turn on and off your schedule. This is the number one reason why a lot of people like to go the mobile route, because it's easy to block 4 or 5 days off. With the shop, you're going to have walk-ins, you're going to have people showing up, you're going to have all that kind of stuff. With the mobile route, you have more control over your schedule. You can turn on and off that schedule and book it when you please. With the shop, it's 10. You typically have to be there all day from 9 to 5 or 10 to 6 because customers will be dropping off, they'll be late and all that kind of stuff. We kind of touch on this a bit as well, is less overhead. Again, you're just looking at your expenses for your vehicle, your supplies. You'll be using a lot of the customers' electricity and a lot of their water and all that kind of stuff. So your overhead comes way down. Now, the fun part, which is going to be the actual cons or the negatives. First and foremost is the uncontrolled environment. Now, you do not know what you're walking into. Again, if you're doing this at dealerships or if you're doing it at other places, you do not have a controlled environment. I mean, you can have dust, you can have dirt, you can have debris. This tends to cause a lot more issues that do pop up with your customer. Saying that, we suggest to go a lot slower when you do your installs. If you're doing your installs in 90 minutes, we suggest do 2 hours to go slow and to control your environment. When you take our course as well, we give you liability forms for your customers to sign and your customers to review that explains if it's mobile, if it's at their house, it's going to have a little bit more dirt, has to have a little more debris because you do not have control over that environment. In my shop, I can control everything. I can control the dust, I can control the doors, I can control the AC. I know everything that's going on. Next thing is you will have more demanding customers. Okay. Customers will demand a lot more out of you because they're coming to your house. They almost have more of um, a sense of they kind of control you because you're coming to them. So if you do have an issue that arises, they typically are demanding for that to be fixed and they're demanding more out of you because you're coming to them. I know it in your mind, it should be the opposite way, but in reality, they will demand more about you. For example, if you have a customer that has an issue, say a window peeled, there's a little bit of dirt they're unhappy with, or that window didn't cure out as much as you wanted to, if it did it in a shop, they won't be as hard pressed to get it fixed right away because they have to find time in their schedule. When it's mobile, when they came to you, they will expect you to come that day or the next day to fix it. They'll be demanding for when you come, even if you're booked 2, 3 weeks out, which we saw this summer. They want it fixed right away, and it's harder to please those customers. Third is time driving to and from locations. This is a huge factor, which will get less jobs coming to you. You have to factor in that drive time. We typically suggest in our courses to leave a half hour to hour buffer, which is going to leave you a less profitable day or you can get less cars in, but to make sure you're not running late. Fourth is again, weary customers without having a shop. A lot of customers now we're seeing this change from when I first started tinting to now. Customers were weary when you guys did not have a shop or you did not have four walls. They may have found it sketchy or they may have found it a little bit weird that you don't have an actual four wall brick and mortar business. We're starting to see the mindset shift with this now as customers go from dropping off at a shop to they just want a job done and they're going to pay for it. As long as it's good, you're professional, and it's good work, they're happy with it. Five kind of comes in with number two as a warranty work. If something goes wrong, they want it fixed right away. They'll be more demanding of you coming in. And a lot of guys that go mobile, this is the point that kind of scares them off. These are the text messages and the emails that I get is that a customer wants something fixed, they want it done right away. It's not on their schedule. They don't care because they're home typically all day. They want you to come. Even if you're booked a couple weeks out, we've had customers like this ourselves where the window has a bubble, window has a little bit of dirt. When it cured out of that window, it became more noticeable. They want one of my guys to come and fix it that same day. When it's hard to talk to them, that we're booked, we're fully busy. We try to get it to as fast as can, but again, we got to work through that as well. Now, why mobile during a shop? So the number one thing is customers don't really want to leave their car. A lot of customers, even when they come to our shop, they don't have a ride home. We had a customer this afternoon that came to our shop. He drove half an hour from Niagara Falls to our shop in St. Catharines. He was supposed to drop it off, but he sat there because he couldn't get a ride. Again, customers don't have the time, don't have the patience, drop their car off, get an Uber, have someone pick them up. Shops, dealerships can outsource work and make more money with mobile installers. So a lot of our guys, when we suggest, we give you the framework as well. Mobile doesn't mean just going to customer shops. I know for the last couple slides, we just talked about customers going to customers' houses, but being mobile means you can go to dealerships as well. A lot of guys that take our course just do straight dealership work. A way to do straight dealership work, and we'll talk about that in the next few slides, is showing how much money they can actually make adding tinting. It doesn't matter if it's a huge dealership like Ford or a smaller used car dealership. They can increase their profit by 10 to 15% just on offering extra services like tint, like ceramic coating, like detailing that they're outsourcing. Now, outsourcing means that they're selling it to their customer at a rate and they're paying you a smaller rate. Typically, when we do outsourcing, we're doing other detailing shops, wrap shops, smaller dealerships. They're charging 450, 500 to the customer. They're paying us 2 to 250 to complete that work. So they keep that $200 just for booking the customer. This is a much smarter way for you guys. You'll make a little less money, but again, it's going to be guaranteed work and you don't have to deal with that customer quote unquote headache and scheduling that customer and any issues that may arise with them as well. Now, the biggest thing we talked about, and this separates when someone's going mobile, if you're going to someone's house, you're going to a dealership, you're going to a wrap studio, is you need to be professional. You don't want to throw all your shit or all your stuff in your small little car, show up messy, show up dirty. We need to project professionalism to make sure that customer seems comfortable with us. Like we talked about, so since COVID, the demand for mobile has increased tremendously. When we give customers options, they always pay more for us to come to them. They're always looking for an easier solution that is convenient for them. With being mobile, Winter Tinter still need to perfect professionalism to stand above the competition and create trust with their customers. The big one we want to underline here is creating trust with your customers. So first thing that we find that creates trust with customers, and again, we're a little bit biased here, but having a certification. So showing you're certified, you're not just someone that learned off YouTube, practicing on your mom's car, doing it out of your garage. You paid for certification, show off that certification. Next is insurance and liability. Now, a lot of window tinters miss this step, but telling customers you're insured, this is going to cost you between $50 to $100, depending on your past stuff and depending on what else you're doing per month. Next is a website and active social media. So showing you have a website, showing you have social media, having business cards, collared shirt, professional wear with logo or branding. Don't show up to customers' houses. Don't show up to dealerships. Don't show up to other facilities looking like a bum. Wear jeans, wear nice shoes, wear a collared shirt, preferably with your logo. You can get this stuff done. Vistaprint, there's 100 different websites that can throw your logo on a collared shirt. It's going to make you look professional. This is going to set yourself up. Now, we found that guys or girls that go to customers' houses, they look dirty, they're a mess, their shirt's untucked. It already creates that skepticism within customers. They're already doubting in their mind that's going to be a good job. When you show up, you look good, you have a collared shirt, you're tucked in, you mean business, they feel at ease, not going to be as nitpicky with you as well. Last but not least is respecting boundaries of the workplace or the home you're in. This is their home, this is their workplace. Doesn't matter if it's a dealership, doesn't matter if you're going to a customer's home. Respect their boundaries, respect the environment that you're in. You're not there to use the bathroom, you're not there to watch TV, you're not there to do anything else. You're there to complete a job professionally and create that experience for them as well. Now, we talked about this as well. There's two types of mobile. When we talk to the guys that are looking at doing a course, usually they don't want to do it because they don't want to have a shop. They think they need a shop. There's two types of mobile. It's going to customers' homes, or it's wholesale or subcontract. This is going to dealerships, mechanics, and other shop. Everybody out there, especially with the economic system that we're in right now, everybody's looking to make more money. Going to dealerships, showing them the profitability that they can make selling window tint and having you install it, they can increase their revenue by $5,000 to $10,000 per month by upselling it to their customers. Going to wrap shops and detail shops, adding those services in where you're doing it, so they'll charge them a flat fee. You'll wholesale the rate, so they're paying you a flat fee, and they're charging their customers even more. 90% of our guys that go mobile focus on this number two. And we're going to talk about how to get into these dealerships, mechanics, and other shops. It's really just presenting a benefit for them. If it shows that they can make money and they're willing to make that money, they will bring it into their facilities as well. Now, how do you price your mobile job? So again, after our guys take our course, this is the number one question I get is, how do I price it? So typically, every market's different. We run this course in Orlando, we run it in Buffalo, we run it in Halifax, all the way to Vancouver and Calgary. Pricing is different all across the board. Now, if you follow our stuff on social media and you follow the stuff we talk about, your tint job is roughly going to be about $20 to $25 in cost. We want you to make about $100 an hour. So we want you to to charge between 250 and 350. If you go back a few of our slides, our recommended fee was about $300 for mobile plus your travel time. So typically if you're driving more than 15 minutes, you'll add a travel fee as well. If your customers complain about this travel fee, again, what we explain to them is that it saves them time driving that half hour to our shop, getting someone to pick them up, and then driving back. So we're actually saving them additional 2 hours. So if you're charging $15 or $25 for that travel time, you're saving them 2 hours by paying for that. It's all about convenience and it's all about communicating to your customers the benefits to them. Okay. Next is going to wholesale or subcontract. This, well, it should say number two, but it says number one. This is where the sweet spot is. If you want to just make money, you wouldn't want to have the headache of having a shop, managing four walls. This is where I would suggest that you go. You want to wholesale or subcontract out your services. Again, a lot of guys contact me and they say, I don't know, I can't get dealerships, I can't get work. A lot of times they don't ask, they don't put in the work. We get emails from dealerships every day from Porsche, Audi, BMW asking for tinters that can come and tint on a regular basis because they're selling so many. You got to go in a dealership. We'll talk about this in a couple of slides, and you got to ask. You got to present yourself. You got to be professional. You got to explain to them how you can benefit. They don't care about you. They don't care about Adam. They don't care about whoever. They want to know is how much they can make and how convenient it is for them. Now, what do you need to be mobile? A lot of guys say, I don't have all the money, I don't have all that kind of stuff. So here is the exact list of what you need to be mobile. So with window tinting, of course you need is film. Film comes in multiple sizes, and we talk a lot more about this in detail in the course. You need a 20-inch, 24-inch, 36-inch, 40-inch. The best bang for your buck is buying 36-inch rolls. This is going to get you about one 36-inch roll is going to get about 25 to 30 vehicles. It's roughly going to cost you $360. So that your cost per vehicle is $15 per installation. You're not carrying a ton of inventory. You're not spending a ton of money. So if you need 2 rolls of film, that's going to cost you $720. It's going to get you 60 to 70 vehicles. Okay, that's going to be about 5 or 6K in revenue, which is phenomenal. Now, on to percentages. Now, I'm not going to talk too much about percentages. You can buy 5, 10, 15, 20. That number means the VLT. The lower the number, the darker the film is and how much sunlight actually comes through. Typically, we have a 5, a 15, and a 35. 5 is the darkest, 15 is medium, 35 is lightest. So we talk to our customers about dark, medium, light. Dark is 5, medium is 15. We're switching our lingo so I don't have to carry all the percentages out there. We only want you to carry as minimal inventory as possible. In my mobile units, I only have a 5%, a 15%, and a 35%. That will get me 45 to 50 vehicles and $8,000 to $10,000 in revenue. So I'm not spending a ton of money on supplies. I'm not giving my customers a whole ton of options, and I'm not carrying a ton of inventory. Next, you're going to need is tinting tools. So again, if you take in our course, you get all those tinting tools. We suggest that you carry some kind of hardware as well, just to make sure if you have to take off any clips or anything like that. Heat guns, garbage bags. This is a big one. We don't want you leaving all your garbage and all your stuff. Make sure you clean up your area. When we teach this course, we always kind of harp on everybody. You need to keep the area cleaner when you left than when you arrived. This is going to create that professionalism and create that confidence and trust with your customers. Bring lots of garbage bags and make sure everything is clean. Clean water. Like we talked about, you can only tint with distilled water. Now, you can use tap water if you're totally stuck. It's going to leave a little bit more dirt and debris behind. Clean water. Bring jugs. A jug of clean distilled water will cost you about $1 at any Walmart. Keep multiple of those on you as well. Baby soap, glass cleaner. Now, this is a number one thing where guys go a little bit wrong when they're going mobily. When they install tint mobily, they leave the car a mess. The biggest feedback I see from tinters that we have trained is they leave streaks on the door panels, they leave streaks on the body of the car. Their job is to tint, but they don't want to leave behind a mess. Like we talked about earlier, keep the environment cleaner than when you left before then you arrive. So keep lots of glass cleaner so you don't leave the car all streaky and looking worse than when you left. It is going to look cooler because you tint it, but don't leave it streaky. Then again, an extension cord. When you're mobile tinting, we only suggest you use a heat gun that can go into an outlet. So when you book that appointment, confirm with that customer they have indoor space and they have an outlet within 200 feet so you can run your extension cord from that area. Now, the big one, how can we get customers? This is all fine and dandy, but how can we actually get customers booked? So, like we talked about, there's two ways. We have mobile customers when we're going to their house or workplace, or their shops and dealerships. Now, if you're going to customers' homes, Facebook ads. Again, we do talk about Marketplace, we talk about Kijiji, we talk about Craigslist. Those are kind of old now. They're not working anymore. You have to run Facebook ads. We just created a new Facebook ad strategy. And again, if you're part of this webinar, we'll give it to you for totally free. Email me when we're done and I'll gladly give it out to you. Our last Facebook ad generated 10 bookings last week with a budget of $12 per day. So we made about $2,000 and we run this for 5 days and we spent $60. So which is a pretty good return with what we ran. Next is Google Ads. Again, if you want a Google ad, you need to email me and I'll email it out to you. Need a website, and this is a better option. Advertise in local shops. Again, a lot you need to put in the work. Any strategy that we give you that we email out, you have to put in the work. Go to local shops, give them your business cards, hair salons. The hair salons are my favorite way to get your business out. Hair salons, girls sit there, guys sit there, and they talk and talk and talk. I will always give my hairdresser a free tint and free ceramic coating. He talks to more people in a day than I could ever talk to. He still gives us about 5-6 bookings bi-weekly just from the customers he talks to every single day. Right? Next is referrals with local businesses. Get businesses, go in, introduce yourself, shake their hand, give them a discount on services. Next, if you want to run free stuff, neighborhood groups on Facebook and other community pages. Let them know they're coming to you. If you want this exact ad strategy, shoot me an email. Next is shops and dealerships. We're going to call this guerrilla marketing. Means you got to go to their shops. You cannot just email them. You cannot just Facebook them. You cannot just send them. You can call them. Physically walk in, introduce them yourself, let them know what you can do. Drop off flyers and business cards at local mechanic shop. Let them know you can do their customers and they'll get a cutback on it as well. Instagram, create conversation online with sales reps. Nowadays, sales reps are always promoting themselves through personal Facebook and Instagram pages. Go on there, make friends with them, comment on their posts, send them messages, offer them to do their personal vehicles at a discounted rate. Now, facts. So a couple of questions that we get here is, what about the wintertime? Can I do this in the wintertime? Yes, the wintertime is still busy. It's not as busy as the dead of summer, but dealerships still sell vehicles. What we promote too in the wintertime is that when it snows, there's a glare that comes off the snow. Window tinting will help prevent this as well. With the sun, it's still going to heat the car up on the inside when they're driving. When we're using ceramic and other carbon-based film, it's going to help block this off as well. A lot of misconception out there as well is a lot of customers say, I don't want to get my windows tinted in the wintertime. It's useless. The installation is just as fine if it's done in the summertime, and I find it helps more driving in the wintertime with the glare off the snow. This is also the time to bring on other services like PPF, remote starters, and ceramic coating, which you can do mobile as well. Now with PPF, there's little asterisks there as well. You can't do a full body PPF. Mobily, it's very, very hard to do. But you can do a lot of partial on the hood, mirrors, fenders, and all that stuff as well. Next thing is book customers indoors with buildings, etc. If you live in a big city like Calgary, like Vancouver, Toronto, a lot of those new high rise that go in have greater, nicer underground garages with mobile units you can do. I ran my whole winter during COVID going to condos downtown Toronto using the indoor garage. There's outlets, better lighting. There's also wash stations as well. So when I would do my marketing, I would go around and put flyers in those lobbies to promote I can come to them, do it right on the spot in their indoor garage. Next is payments. If you're mobily, how do you set up payments? Now, there's lots of different options that you can do as well besides cash, Cash App, or e-transfer. Cash App is like the US based e-transfer if you're unfamiliar with that as well. If you go to Square Stripe, it's a common payment method that can accept credit cards and debit right on your phone. You can set it up directly on your phone where you can accept credit and debit card.